bald.
Boom.
It's
It's okay.
Is this better?
I think you
Yeah, that's way better.
Oh, extreme close up.
You know what I'm about to ask?
No, I
like it. So want to make sure that we know where you are. You're at a place called On No Edits, No Filter. We do this once a week, and we want to make sure we're rolling. And let's get going. I think we throw a topic out there every week and just kind of talk about it candidly. And we're honored to have a musician celebrity, with us today. And
I don't even know who this is.
Well, JessLee is a singer, Cody.
Yeah.
Like you're an artist. Cody, who asked that down the bottom in my screen, is an illustrator for us on the Avenue and does amazing drawings. And you can go to ontheavenue.store and see a lot of his work there. It's really cool. But Jess is a singer-songwriter, right? I mean, do you write some of your own stuff too, Jess?
I write all my stuff. So I
Awesome.
just got my publishing deal out here in Nashville. So I'm officially a published professional writer. So that's my job. That's literally all I do is I tour the country. I write music. I release music. And I'm actually starting to get a little bit more into the entertainment world with some other avenues as well. So so it's really cool being able to see how music has segued me into other opportunities. And now I'm kind of starting to get a little bit into the TV world as well, along with my touring.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what we like to do is throw a subject out here and just kind of talk about it, and see what it is. And I think one of the things, obviously, with you being a musician, I'd love to talk about today, Riley. How do you want to handle this, Riley? You want to kick this off and let Dustin kick it off, and then we get into the subject?
Yes. Hey, Dustin,
Yo.
let's kick this thing off.
All right, you got it. Everybody ready? No edits. No edits, no filter. April 24th, take one.
I'll join in. I can see where that was going.
I always do that.
That's right, Cody. It's because it's a show. It's kind of a recurring theme. Riley, what else do we want to know?
I'm telling my dad.
Hey, Big John,
What?
what did we talk about on No Edits?
We talk about autism, sports, movies, and I can't think of anything else.
Well, how about today, John? We're going to talk about music.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the influence that this pandemic and this stay-at-home has had on the entertainment and music industry, and that's what I want to talk about today.
That's a great idea. that's a great topic.
Well, here we are virtually, and we're hearing concerts. We're not going to be able to assemble more than 50 people, maybe for the rest of the year. I mean, that's crazy when artists make most of their money off touring and merchandise these days. And so the impact that's had, and the living room concerts and the fundraisers and all of that, I just want to throw that out. So we know you're a recording artist. We know you love to be on the road and be out there performing for your fans and stuff. How has this pandemic and the sequestration and the quarantining influenced you right now? And tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing during this time when we're all staying at home.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really great question, and also really insightful for you to know that and know how artists make their money today, because there obviously used to be a world and a time where an artist could put out music and they could expect to be fully refunded just from releasing music. But with streaming platforms and everything today, it's just not the same financial payback. So artists usually supplement that income by being willing to tour, like you mentioned, and being willing to kind of take some other avenues. And there are artists out there that are really struggling because they may not have the ability to tour. It's not easy. And thank goodness for me, because of my clout on The Voice, I was able to get into touring and be able to play a lot of really great venues that were moneymaker venues right off the bat. But a lot of artists that are starting out and they don't necessarily have that clout or that head start, they're not able to book shows that can reimburse them financially. So I've really been blessed with that manner to honestly be able to have toured enough last year and toured enough in the beginning of this year to have a good financial stability with savings and stuff. But it's, it's cutting it close, unfortunately. I mean, it's kind of one of those things that I'm, crossing my fingers and hoping that we're going to get started again, because I've really dug into extra savings, and putting out music doesn't have the financial payback anymore. So,
Sure. So what are you doing creatively during this time, Jess? What are you doing creatively to kind of fill that Jones for performance and writing?
Absolutely. So, writing always, I mean, you always can write, and you can always do co-writes through Zooms and stuff like that. But honestly, I mean, this has actually been a time for me to really kind of self-reflect. I was so busy, and I've been so busy these past couple of years that I've kind of lost a little bit of self-reflection time and meditation time. So this has actually been a time for me to turn into focusing on myself, and maybe doing things that I haven't been able to focus on in my normal life. So I might have been too busy or something. So I've been really trying to actually look into other things that I enjoy, and maybe get better at other things. Obviously, I play guitar and I write, so being able to hone in even better on my writing skills and my guitar skills, it's been an opportunity to take more time for that. And honestly, doing a couple live shows here and there. I have a platform where I do a monthly live series for like people who subscribe to a membership. So
You don't have to wear masks.
so what?
You don't have to wear masks when y'all sing.
Masks? No. Well, we're not performing live anymore, so we have to stay home.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
calling
so-
something else.
Right. So since I'm not performing live, I don't have to wear like masks or anything.
Yeah.
But here and there, I'm doing like a live online concert just to kind of, honestly, it's not even for the money. It's one of those things that it's just for me to get that feeling of being able to perform, because it's what I love the most. So
Yeah.
Jess, will you do something like that after we're all able to get back together? Do you see this new platform as a new arena or a new venue for you, for artists?
yeah, it's a really different platform. It's actually hosted through my website, and there are no label artists even taking advantage of that. So the show that I actually do online, it's been a monthly concert series that I was doing even before the coronavirus, and it's called JessLee Live, and it was something that we hosted, a once a month show, and people can pay a monthly membership and subscribe to watch the show. And it was really convenient because since it's a live show on the computer, we were able to basically fit it in wherever we were around my touring anyway. So so it was really cool. It gave like merch discounts, and which is another way to financially supplement your income as an artist. You can always add merch. If you have really good merch pieces, you'll make some good money from that. And I also have a clothing company as well. So it's always good to have different avenues, and that's why my team is also getting me involved with some TV stuff now here too. So it's always good to be involved in multiple streams of revenue.
Hey, so I want some advice for the guys. So everybody on the screen with you, we're a company called On the Avenue, and we use the creative services to gain confidence and teach community and teach commerce. What would you suggest to these guys? A lot of them have a podcast or a show, a little video show they do as well. Give them some suggestions, maybe of what they could do to be kind of honing in on some of their skills that you might have advice for while they're at home or locked away, during this quarantine.
I would say the biggest thing in anything is, the saying practice makes perfect is definitely not. It's a legitimate statement for a reason. So I've noticed that the more time you put into something and the more hours you have into something, that you're gonna be better and better and master it. So honestly, consistency. Making sure that with the podcast that you have, trying to get more and more legitimate people to interview, and to really make sure that you're doing your research beforehand, and you're learning how to be a great interviewer. Because if you're doing a podcast and it's something where you're interviewing someone, look at someone that you idolize that might be an interviewer, and kind of see their style on how they do it, and study that a little bit, and then reflect on that and take that and use it for your own show.
You use your consuming time right now to maybe help hone in on your skills, and then practice those, and don't stop creating. These guys are still creating, which is terrific.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really important. I mean, this, you know, a lot of people are taking this time for rest in a way that may just be halting of what they normally do, but it definitely isn't a time to completely stop. It may be a time to reflect and have a little more you time, but definitely I would not suggest like stopping the creation process. Definitely let that flow, and don't force it, you know, let it be divine intervention and creation.
And
Love that.
every day is not going to be an award-winning day. You just
Right.
need to keep doing it, and eventually you hit the one that's really good, and then the next day you go back to something that's not as good. But the key is just to keep trying, doing.
Absolutely.
Matt, you had a question?
Yeah, Riley had his hand up
Yeah,
first,
well,
right?
Yes.
Sure.
My question is, how even when Corona was not a thing, how did you go about creating a following? Yes, you had the voice, but what else have you done to create the following you have? Like word of mouth or viral clicks on YouTube?
Right. That's a great question. So when I had my exiting off of the show, I had maybe 1/4 of the platform that I have now. So only 25% of that was maybe helped from the voice, probably even less, to be honest with you. And it was a great head start, but you know, there's nothing in life that's going to be your like one moment that's a career breaker for you and something, you know, it's always about taking an opportunity and making momentum from it, because just as fast as you can rise up, you can fall back down if you don't have something to follow that. So it was really important for me to make sure that my exit on the show was utilized in a way where I could funnel that into keeping my momentum rolling. And that's a whole other story. My team and I strategically, actually, it was mostly me, had a plan onto how I was going to release music legally afterwards. And we found some loopholes with my lawyer that we were able to strategically drop new music and capitalize on that spike that we had in viewership. But when it comes to like a social media following, you know, in my case, I mean, every case is different. It kind of depends on like what your certain career path is. In my case, being in music, it's so important to make real fans face to face. So for an artist, touring is the best thing you can possibly do. Shaking hands, hugging necks, meeting new people, and really getting an opportunity for people to get to know who you are live. I think social media is a really great thing to be able to have people recognize you and become familiar with you and see your face on a regular basis. But you don't really gain true fans until you have people spending money on you. That's a true fan, someone who's willing to, who monetizes. And that's important. So, you know, it was important for my team and I to make sure that we were touring me and getting me really familiar in certain markets and saturating those markets, and then slowly breaking out of them and doing the same process over and over again. Yeah, and when it comes to social media, I would truthfully say if like you're looking to just be kind of like a big social media presence, my biggest advice would always be just to make sure you have really great content and regular content. So making sure that you're very consistent. I usually always post 4 or 5 times a week, and it's relative to my brand. So you want to make sure that your content is completely cohesive with who you are as a person and your brand and what you're trying to express to your audience, and making sure that it's good quality as well.
That's awesome. Great question, Riley.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
question.
What were you gonna
So
ask?
I had a question.
Okay. And then Alex is
You
next.
must be an expert at this, but I'm working on another project. It's a documentary, but I'm not going to go into anything else because it's sort of in the works.
Okay.
But I want a lot of people to see this. But the thing is, I want to market it to where people, you know, right now I have this survey going that they answer these questions, and we're trying to get answers to. I'm just basically in the research stage right now because I've done a lot of most of the paperwork. I've done most of the long, tedious process of typing up a lot of documents.
Okay.
But the problem I'm having is is I want to get it out there more and more. I want people to give their responses to the survey I have, and I'm
Right.
not sure how to do that without trying to seem like, you know, I just want to get, I want it to be seen by more people, because the more responses to what I have out there, the better documentary I can make.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question. What are your current tactics that you're using right now?
Well, right now, Tom has shared it, Dieter has shared it, our mom has shared it. It's a survey that's talking about, it's 3 questions talking about the employment of people with disabilities.
Okay.
And so far, I'm up to 39 responses.
Which,
And
by the way, is huge, Matt.
I mean, it's going to be a huge documentary, but it's like, I'm not in the intent of like, wow, I made a documentary, guys. No, that's not where I'm going with that.
Right.
It's more of like, I want to more like educate people.
Yeah.
To like say that someone with a disability, you know, sometimes, like one of the responses I saw, long story short, said sometimes people with disabilities are overlooked sometimes. And it's like, this documentary is more of like to open people's eyes and, you know, to help them understand you might be missing some extra, you might be overlooking something, you know? I'm not trying to make anybody a bad guy in this document, it's more educational.
Absolutely, and you're passionate about that, and that's amazing, and that's something that like you should utilize, that passion. You know, there's nothing wrong with I believe there's nothing wrong with sharing what you love with as many people as you want to. I mean, I'm a big believer that, again, like I said, like, you know, if you're a fan and you really support me, you know, there's different levels of people that are fans for what they're going to do. And the whole goal that you want true fans, rabid fans that are going to show their respect to you and what you do by actively sharing things that you do, or in my case, purchasing products or supporting my music. So for you, I would find, I mean, it's different because it's a little bit of a different field, but in a way it's not. Like you what you're going to put out, you're going to want to make fans of what you're putting out, and fans by people who are supporting that project. So I would just say there's really nothing wrong with like really talking about it with people. I mean, I'm not sure how much you're talking about the project with people, but talk about it with people and ask. You know, the answer is always no unless you ask, and that's how it always started for me. Was, you know, when I didn't have a large fan base, I just was kind of fearless, and I said, hey, can you do this for me? And the answer was yes or no.
And don't be afraid to ask them to redo it also. It's like, hey, I saw you shared it Monday and it's a week now. Can you reshare it? Or
absolutely. Like, if this is your baby and your project, then you should not be ashamed to continually share it and talk about it, and, you know, and really be open about it. So, you know, one of those,
you know, from the 39 entries that I've gotten from this survey, you know, that will help in the making of this documentary, it's really interesting to look. Now, I haven't shared this with Tom or Dieter, and I don't remember everything off the top of my head, but it's really interesting to see the answer vary and vary. It's really cool to see, well, this is how they feel about, and this is how it should be done. And the next guy who enters, it's totally different. And I just am a big believer, if I can figure out what's going on right now in today's climate, then in turn, that's real world data. That's real world understanding that I can turn into, well, I was going to do my documentary like this. Now I can see it like this. I can talk about this because it's happening right now. And that's sort of why I'm doing this survey.
I would say to keep the ball, that snowball effect rolling, and keep that momentum going, and create a build, you know, maybe go back and ask the people, your 39 entries, the people that already have done it, if they could share it with someone who would do it as well. And, you know, maybe ask them to do the same things. You know, can you ask that person that you're asking to also ask 1 or 2 people to do it as well? And, you know, and then you kind of create this chain snowball effect. And then again, you know, maybe when you share it the next time, really express in the caption the importance of it, and, you know, put in there that you would like to have them share it and create this snowball effect. You know,
you could almost making little short videos just reminding people. So Matt, you could do the same thing, going, hey, did you know I have a questionnaire out? Link is below.
Right.
You know, and this is what we're talking about. And JessLee goes, hey, I got a new song coming Friday. Check it out. Links below. And she just reminds people by doing a short video. So you can do that too.
And learn, yeah, exactly. And learn how to be creative. It's like basically rewording what Dieter said. Get creative with how you can promote it. So like find a way to promote the same product in a different way. Like when it's a new single for me, I'm promoting the same product every time I push it, but I'm using a different tactic. So maybe it's just a new content piece, or, you know, maybe I'm rewording it in a different way, or, you know, maybe for me, I'm able to sometimes do giveaways or things like that. So don't be afraid to kind of get creative to how you remind people that this survey is here. And
it's not that I'm afraid. I'm not, it's not that I'm afraid. It's just like I don't want to force this down people's. Like there's a right way to ask people to support you, but then there's also like a wrong way. And it's like,
right.
I figured out that you can't change people's minds. People are going to have their own opinions about stuff, and that's okay. That's the creative process, you know. People do it differently. It's just like I want to, but it's like I don't want to be that person that keeps just shoving your inbox with check this out, check this out. I just don't want to be that person.
Matt, I think one thing,
like Riley with the no edits email.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to remind y'all, okay? Dang.
Bro, I'm just messing with you.
I think it's really important as well to remember that right now you're simply asking 3 questions.
Yeah.
Don't overwhelm them with how am I going to market this piece and what's the documentary going to be and da da da. You're simply at right now. It's ask 3 questions. You're in research mode. Then we're going to production mode, and then you go into promotion of the documentary mode. You can overwhelm people with all these different things that are going to happen. And right now, you're simply asking friends and friends and friends and friends of friends to answer 3 questions, and that's all you're asking. And then
okay, Tom.
And you can make it exciting by, instead of saying, hey, can you fill out the form, you can say, hey, you want to be a part of a cool thing that's coming up? We got this documentary making, and we need a little bit of information. So if you could fill out this little link below, see how much that's more exciting than, hey, I got a link if you can fill it out.
Yeah, rewording it different ways. And also there's nothing wrong with being emotional with something. Like if you're passionate about something, you know, when I ask people to listen to my music, I'm like, you know, it would really mean a lot to me if y'all checked it out or streamed this song. You know, this is how it would make me feel, or this is what you're helping me do as an artist every time you purchase a song. So, you know, like for whatever passion you feel behind it, because it's your cause and your project, don't be afraid to portray that as well, because people relate to emotion. You know, I mean, we're all human and we all have that inside of us. And, you know, when someone's a little raw about something, it kind of, you know, makes you feel that for them, you know?
Yep. Alex, I think you had a question.
Yeah, just real quick. I feel like I heard you say something about it and I was kind of curious. You said that immediately following The Voice, you were able to put out music due to like loopholes that your lawyers had found. So yeah, I guess I was just curious, like, did The Voice try to box you into like not being able to release stuff, or like what kind of happened there?
Yeah, I can talk only like lightly on that because of contractual reasons, but but yes, there are contracts to where everybody has a different contract. You're actually appointed lawyers on the show, and everybody, depending on how far they go on the show and how far their career was before the show, everybody has different contracts that state what they can do after the show when it comes to like new music and promotion and things like that. So so my lawyer, actually it was kind of me. I actually found a loophole and approached my lawyer about it and was like, is this the case? And he was like, yeah, I'm not really supposed to tell you, but because the show appoints you a lawyer, so they're kind of in Joe's favor more. But
Right.
legally, he had to tell me the truth. So I ended up finding a loophole with him that I was able to release music early, a little bit early, and promote it early. So so it was just a little bit of research, and I'm kind of like a where there's a will, there's a way person. So
Sure.
yeah.
Speaking of
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Cool.
Yes, sir, Miles.
speaking of research, I've done mine, and I just have a couple questions.
Sure.
During the blind auditions, were you nervous to cover any Alicia Keys or Kelly?
So I think I can say this. So during the blind auditions, was I nervous to perform in front of them, or was I nervous to sing one of their songs?
Were you
What do you
Sorry about
both.
that. My computer went out.
both?
What?
Both.
Both?
Both.
Well, I wasn't nervous for, oddly enough, I wasn't nervous to perform in front of the celebrity coaches. I really don't get nervous for anything, honestly. I have like very low anxiety when it comes to a lot of things.
Except when her pants drip in the middle of a video.
Oh,
That's still
Did
goes
not
down,
see that coming.
Can rip on.
Yeah.
Dieter, what happened to the respect, bro?
that still goes down. Dieter knows. I've already talked about it publicly. That goes down in history. It's probably my only embarrassing moment. I have gone through so many interviews where I've been asked, what was your most embarrassing moment? I'm like, I'm not really a person that gets embarrassed. That was my embarrassing moment. And Dieter got to be there for it. But no, I wasn't nervous for the performance. I wasn't nervous to necessarily end up with one of their songs, because first off, that's actually pretty rare. Usually they try to like not have a artist or to
Hey,
contest
Tyler.
what's one of the songs that the judges that they're judging that year.
It's all
So I wasn't super nervous about ending up with one of their songs. And also, to an extent, we kind of get to semi-pick what we performed. Like, what happened was we get like a list of a certain amount of songs, and then I would put them in order of like what my favorite was, and then the show would end up picking at random out of one of those however many songs. So you're semi-prepared and kind of know like what you're gonna get, because they try not to make you like have to learn a brand new song in only like a week. So I wasn't really nervous. No, I really don't get nervous. So, and if I did end up with like an Alicia Keys song, I just would have dealt with it and sang it, and hope she would have liked it.
You got a question?
Yeah. Speaking of celebrity coaches on The Voice, who was your celebrity coach?
I had Kelly Clarkson and Blake Shelton turn for me, and I ended up choosing Blake because he is a little bit more intertwined in the country music scene. So that's why I chose him.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
did you? Did you?
Guys, I'm going to leave Jess with you guys. It's great to meet you. Thank you for joining us. Riley, you're in capable hands with Riley and Dieter moderating here. And
Absolutely.
And we've got Don Juan down there, Tyler with a little mustache. I like that's coming on, dude.
Poor ladies.
Man.
I was saying, did you ever get an awards?
Well, that's a great question, John. Bye, guys. Love y'all. Have a blessed weekend.
See you, Tom.
See you soon.
See you, Tom.
See, it's
What was your question, Big John?
I said, did she ever get any awards for
Awards?
singing? Yeah.
So I've had nominees. I actually was nominated for an award out in LA for my song "Burn."
Yeah.
It was called the Hollywood Music and Media Awards, and at that same time, Justin Timberlake was nominated for an award. Taylor Swift was nominated for an award. So it was a really big deal, and it was actually my very first red carpet. Since then, I've been nominated twice. I have not won yet, but I've been nominated twice. So
Yes.
I'm waiting for the win.
I have
It's
a
a real
myth
honor
I
to be
wanna
nominated,
ask
and
you.
a real honor to be able to say that I was, you know, in the running with such big names. I mean, that's a really big thing. There's a lot of different awards out there, and this one was definitely a reputable one, which was really rewarding to be able to have my name on the ballot with so many great people.
David, you got a question?
Yeah. Have you, going back to the part where somebody said until your pants rips, have you ever had
Oh man.
have you ever had
Here we go
a
again.
wardrobe malfunction?
On stage?
Yeah, or
Yes.
anywhere for that matter.
Thank goodness I haven't. I was actually going to wear those pants on stage for a show in the future, and I'm really glad that they ripped in front of Dater and people that I love, and not for just random fans. So I have not. I've had one small wardrobe malfunction, and it was literally the last. I got lucky. It was the last song in my show, and I had like a spaghetti strap on, and the back of my strap actually ripped off of my shirt, and this one was still there, so I was still held up. So I tucked it in really quick for the song, and I just tucked the strap in. It just looked like I had one strap and was strapless on this side, and I made it work. But other than that, I've not had anything to like just detrimental on stage happen. So.
And you guys can go to her website and sign up to stuff and be a fan of hers. Brad, you got a question?
Yep. Yeah. So JessLee, what kind of clothes do you wear on stage?
Oh, I love that. So I usually wear really kind of edgy, but like sparkly. I have this, and Dieter's seen it. A lot of the stuff that I wear, like for my photo shoots for like promo stuff, is similar stuff on stage. It's kind of like a mix of like edgy, but still kind of glam. And I like to kind of compare it to like a modern day, a little bit edgier of like a Shania Twain. So if you look at a little bit of her style, it's just a little more like edgy and grungy. But if you added that in, it's very like kind of Shania Twain style. So,
Matt, you had a question?
Just like, I guess, is it really true that once you get into the whole working with big names and the Hollywood whole deal, is it like some exclusive club that millionaires only could join or something? I don't know. I've just heard that.
well, there
Is that true?
There definitely is. Like, you know, it's cliquey. I don't really have any like cliques that I join. I do know a lot of people. What?
You joined this clique, so you're
Yeah,
good.
this is a clique. This is a clique. But you know,
Good one, dude.
but in that like Hollywood world, yeah, I mean, like there's a lot of people that they have like clubs and stuff, and it's one of those things that I'm just very
They all wear bow ties.
They all wear bow ties. I don't, but they do. But I mean, you know, it's just I like to try to stay level-headed, and it's kind of one of those things that in country music there's a lot less of that. Usually that's kind of the more like pop and Hollywood scene. So I am in a genre that's a little more on the conservative side, and is kind of a little bit out of that world.
Tyler,
When you say conservative, would that include not wearing leather, like
I wear
biker
lots
jacket?
of leather.
Really?
Yeah.
Biker jacket,
Right.
biker jacket, leather pants, you know. Maybe
No, I'm
even a
very,
leather
very
hat.
edgy. I definitely wear a lot of leather. D can confirm.
You can go to her website and see a lot of her outfits. Tyler, you had a question?
Yeah. So I'm Tyler. Central time and East Coast time has kind of screwed me up a little bit. I'm on the East Coast, so sorry for that. So one of my friends is trying to be kind of hip hop rapper type, and so my question for you is, how long was it between your first song that you put out and then when you finally felt like I can make money doing this as a career? Like how was that time period in between? Did you ever doubt whether you could do this or not?
Absolutely, and that's a really great question, because you know, and everybody's trajectory and their journey is different. So like, I always like to speak with that, because my process has been a lot faster than others, but I've also known people that have, you know, maybe been expedited even more than me. So And genres are different too. You know, the country music space is a very interesting space when it comes to making a footprint in the genre. And the rap scene is actually really, really open. There's honestly, rap music is like one of the quickest genres to be able to see like turn around financially and to be able to see your career change and grow. So he's definitely in like a faster paced and a expedited, I would say, genre. For me, it was, I released my first song in late 2015.
Yeah.
So I've been working at this in 2015. I did The Voice in 2000. I started the process in 2017. I was aired in 2018. So it was a lot. It was a longer process than what it seems from just watching the show. So behind the scenes, I would have been technically with the show since 2017 with filming and everything. And I would say that's when the trajectory of my career really started having like a turnaround financially, and I was actually starting to make money. But I would truthfully say, just like any business, and it's you know, the music industry is a business, and when you're starting up a new business, no matter what it is, you know, your accountant will prepare you saying that, you know, you're probably going to have a 2-year period where you make no money. And then it's sometimes 3 to 5 years until people can cut a check for themselves and actually start making money off of their business. So, you know, you have to kind of prepare yourself with that. It's a new business. And when you're babying a new business, you have to be able to have the mindset that you might not be able to be making money or a lot of money in the beginning. And then eventually, you know, it will start to turn around and you'll be able to start getting a little bit more financially. And then, you know, it's just as long as you keep the momentum going and the consistency going, you'll just make more and more. So, you know, just from a business standpoint, I would say at the earliest around 1.5 years, 2 years, if someone's moving really quickly with their career. And, you know, but on average, a business usually takes about 4 to 5 years before you start really seeing financial benefit.
Cool. Questions?
Any more?
Hey, dude.
You have any questions?
I have one more.
Hey, Matt.
Hang on. I think Big John's saying something, but his mic is it's not coming through.
Can we hear you, John? Can you hear us, John?
Big John, can you hear us?
Hey, dear, I'm getting my own computer set up.
Awesome. Do you have a question for JessLee?
Yeah, JessLee.
You have a question for her?
The only girl on this recording?
Do you like country music?
Got used to when I was younger.
Do you like pop music? Do you like pop music?
Not really.
Hey, JessLee, you got a cool thing that I think the guys might want to try. You guys need to pay. I mentioned it to them already, but maybe tell them about your little do it like content.
Challenge.
Yeah, we got a challenge.
I got one more question.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dustin.
I'll answer your question and then I'll tell you guys about the Do It Like challenge, and then I actually have to go get I have to actually do an interview on someone. So
how did you get into country music?
How did I get? So I grew up listening to a lot of traditional and classic country music. I, grew up listening to Tanya Tucker and Winona Judd and Waylon, and I also had a mix of that. I was born during that time period, was Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were things. So I was really kind of submerged into a lot of genres growing up, but country music was kind of always my roots. That's like what was the majority of what I listened to. So I would say just from influence and growing up with that, it just kind of was what I was passionate about. And it was just the place that felt like home to me. And honestly, my music is a little bit more innovative than the normal country music. So you can really hear the influence from the other genres that I grew up listening to. But I think just from being submerged with that and growing up on it, it was like a no-brainer for me because that's kind of how I write. I'm a little bit more of a storyteller writer, and you know, with influence with a little bit of pop music and rock music in there.
Okay. And just one more, Rob. Do you have a favorite artist?
I do. Lately, for reasons I don't know if I want to get into, I've been a little disappointed to find out some information about my favorite artist, and so at the moment I technically don't. But it used to be Celine Dion, but I can't really stand by her anymore at this moment.
Oh, okay.
Dieter knows why.
JessLee has a cool challenge going on right now, and it's a contest, and the winner's going to win $5,000. And I think you could participate.
Wow.
So let her tell you about it, and then you guys can get with me, and I'll help you guys do it.
You're the bomb, D.
Yeah.
So, you're the best. So the challenge is called the Do It Like Challenge. My new single is named Do It Like. So we kind of put that together. So the Do It Like Challenge is a challenge where you take the talent that you have, whatever you think you're the best at, you get to show off your talent to the world in a video, and you play the chorus of my new single, Do It Like, in the background. So if it's dancing, you can either dance to the new single. If it's computer stuff, we actually had someone who was like, he's a computer genius. He entered it in and he had this whole like fun computer style entry. So all you have to do, if you have your cell phones, all you have to do is text Do It Like, all one word, to 313131. And you'll get instructions on how to enter the challenge and all the things that you have to do to properly enter the challenge. And then my label is actually picking out one lucky winner to win $5,000 to someone that we feel has the most creative, fun challenge.
Just one last question. And speaking of legal, this is for our benefit. Do you consent to being on our YouTube channel?
Yes. I consented when I
So.
Okay, I just wanted to cover my bases and have you on tape saying it.
I love it. I love it. No, that's actually really smart.
So I know JessLee is busy, but I think she has time to play us a song. So do you want to have her do a song to close us out?
I just have one question.
Yes.
JessLee.
Okay, David has a question.
Okay. Okay. Are you very instrumental? Do you play guitar, keyboards, piano? I mean, you may have mentioned it, but I missed it. So.
That's okay. I actually play guitar, and I also play like a little bit of ukulele. But I would say more than anything, my vocal is my instrument, but I also do play guitar.
Okay. Are you into acoustic guitars or electric guitars?
I actually am sponsored by a company called Vintage Guitars, and they're like Les Paul style guitars, and actually they have pretty much every style you can imagine. But so I love electric guitars, but I would definitely say just more in my show, I'm probably glued to my acoustic more than anything, and then electric is kind of more of like a pop, like a surprise add-on.
Yeah, because I play guitar myself and a little bit of piano, so.
Oh, that's awesome. My grandfather plays piano. He's incredible. So you should look him up. You would if you love piano.
Yeah.
His name is Roger Rossi, and he's absolutely amazing. He actually wrote and composed one of the 5 Ave Marias in the world, and so it's incredible. Go check him out.
Have you ever played
with a song, JessLee?
Have you ever played a 12-string guitar?
Huh?
She's gonna play us a song. We're gonna move on.
But one question. One quick question. Yeah. Have you ever played an acoustic 12-string guitar?
No, I've never played a 12-string, and honestly, I'm be very real with you. It scares me a little bit. I don't. I'm intimidated by it. I don't know why. I get nervous when I try to play it. So, but yeah, that's really it. Is that it, you guys?
Cool. Yeah, you can play us a song. we'll close it out.
Okay, cool. So I'll play my new single just because it's what I'm currently promoting. It's called Do It Like. And like I said, if you guys are interested in, like Dieter offered, which thank you, Dieter, if you need more information on the challenge and you want to try to go for the $5,000, ask Dieter about it and he can help you out with trying to get the challenge entry. So I actually have Steve with me. He's going to actually play. I'm not playing this one because I'm going to be real with you. I haven't learned my own song yet. But,
Here we go.
ooh, did she ever make you breakfast? Did she hold you while you sleep? She get along with your mama, no drama. Is she what you need? Is she the life of the party? She throw it down like me. You made me sick when you picked that chick, so sad. 'Cause nobody can do it like me, like me, like me. Yeah, nobody can do it like me, like me, like me. Hey, how are you the only one that's fine when everybody sees they can do it like me, like me, like me? Does she let you roll with the fellas? Does she put you first? Does she rock a little over just when you had a hard day at work? Are you happier without me? So why the hell you leave? You're a mess, but I'm blessed, no stress, you're sad. Nobody can do it like me, like me, like me. Yeah, nobody can do it like me, like me, like me. Hey, how are you the only one that's fine when everybody sees they can do it like me, like me, like me? Ooh, oh, and you let us slip through the cracks. Whoa, I'm a that you'll never hide. Yeah. Oh, it won't take long for you to see that nobody can do it like me, like me. Nobody can do it like me, like me. Nobody can do it like me, like me, like me. Yeah, nobody can do it like me, like me, like me. How are you the only one that's fine when everybody sees nobody can do it like me, like me, like me? Oh, nobody can do it like. Oh, nobody can do it like. Oh, nobody can do it like. Oh, nobody can do it like me. Here you go, guys.
Awesome.
That was dope.
Well,
Thank you.
thank
I appreciate it. Thank you. Steve. That was Steve, Virginia, for you guys too. Because I've not learned my own song yet.
That just editing this just gave me an idea for the contest. Since you're on here.
Oh, good. Yeah, I love that. You know what? It's all about what you love to do and whatever you think that you're the best at. So, you know, just put something up there and throw my song out and make sure you follow the rest of the rules with some of the tagging stuff on social media. But who knows? Maybe you'll win $5,000 and have some fun. So
cool. So we have a weird way of closing out the show.
Okay.
Who wants to do it? Cody, you want to close the show out?
You want to close out?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay.
No,
how do we close the
Cody.
show out?
Hey, Dustin, how we close it?
No, Big John, we
Okay,
usually
Dustin,
get
I
Cody.
forgot, should I improvise?
Dustin, you can do it.
That's a wrap.
Oh, that's a new one.
That's a new one. Usually,
Nice
hey, Jess, usually we close out with Big Ass Taco.
We say big ass.
Okay. Do you want to try it?
1, 2,
I'm
3.
down.
Big
Yeah.
ass
Big Ass
taco.
Taco!
Big ass tacos.
There you go. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys for joining in today as well. I appreciate you guys coming and chatting with me today, and I hope you guys had bless you. Hope you guys had a little bit of fun. Hearts.
And how can people watching this show find you?
Oh, so yeah, if you guys are like really into social media, you can literally find me on any platform. All you have to do is type at JessLee, which is all one word. It's JessLee country. So at JessLee country.
Awesome. Look her up, guys. Go to her website.
Thank you. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Now I'm on my way. Dieter, I'm actually heading to Dieter's anyway because I have to do an interview. So I will see you guys later. Dieter, I'll see you soon.
Cool. Everybody have a great weekend.
See y'all.
Peace out. See you Monday.
Remember to eat big ass tacos, guys.